How are you?
Kellyanne, good morning. What would you say to Democrats who now say the firing of Jeff Sessions is a constitutional crisis? And can you outline why Matt Whitaker was put in that post and not Rod Rosenstein?
Well, the Democrats don't seem to begin or end a sentence these days without having the word crisis in it. So it's not a constitutional crisis. And it's not even what, unfortunately, a CBS reporter said on the late night TV show last night, presidential crisis. I took note of that. I think it's a very inappropriate thing to say by a journalist, by an unbiased reporter for a major network. Anyhow, Matt Whitaker has been chief of staff for over a year. So I think this is and Rod Rosenstein is in his job as Deputy Attorney General. He's here at the White House yesterday for a meeting, is expected here for a different meeting, regular order of business today. That shows that the president has a continuum with the Deputy Attorney General and the Chief of Staff. So the Mueller investigation we think is winding down, but we have no way of knowing. This president and his team have been very compliant with the Mueller investigation. I think over 1 million pieces of paper have been produced. Over 33 or so individuals have either produced documents or testified or both, or met or both. And I would take note of the new data that was released by a media outlet 2 days ago, saying that 42% of Americans disapprove of the way it's being handled, the Mueller investigation being handled. 42% approve, 46% disapprove. And in a separate question, 41% say they think the investigation is justified, 54% is politically motivated. Those are not our data. I'm just reporting it. Don't shoot the messenger. But I think there's something to what the president said yesterday, which is that the investigation, we've complied with it. There is no Russia collusion, the president said, and the president has said that he hopes millions of dollars, and a year and a half later that we're getting close to a conclusion.
What's your reaction, Kellyanne?
What's your on the investigation, Kelly? You know,
I have no idea.
has the president
What's your reaction?
instructed him to limit the investigation?
No, the president hasn't instructed him to do anything other than be the acting attorney general.
Have they talked about the investigation?
I won't talk about what the president talks about with any cabinet member. I've said that before, unless he does. But why would the president want to prolong the Mueller investigation? It makes no sense if you think of it. By the way, it's good to see you here.
Gerald Nadler was overheard on the Acela train
Yes,
yesterday.
how embarrassing. He's going to impeach the president, impeach Brett Kavanaugh. It's pretty really feeling his oats, isn't he? Totally unprofessional. And talk about a crisis. And as the president said yesterday, they can try to investigate and not legislate. I'm not sure there's an appetite, maybe in his district, but there's not much of an appetite in some of these swing Democratic districts where Democrats just won in these swing congressional districts to investigate and subpoena and impeach the president or a Supreme Court justice who was lied about. I know none of you have apologized to him yet, but who was lied about and those women got a ton of coverage. So, yeah, that's unfortunate that he was it's very fortunate that he was overheard. It's very unfortunate that somebody who's about to be the chairman of a committee was just so free-flowing in a public place with his information, really filling his oats. But that's what the Democrats want to do, and the president said, okay.
Kellyanne, for clarity, not long ago that Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg suffered.
I just saw that as I was finishing my hit. Of course, I'm praying for her. She's a very tough woman, 85 years old, falling, I believe, at the court ahead of Justice Kavanaugh's investiture, where the president and the first lady are expected to be momentarily. But obviously, we're praying for her. I understand she's been to the hospital. I don't have that. I didn't second source it. I know some of you don't bother either. But in any event, I like that, didn't you? In any event, we're praying for her, and we know how tough she is. I've known her for many, many years. Got to see her just a few weeks ago here at the swearing in of Justice Kavanaugh, so she'll be in our prayers. I hope she has a full and speedy recovery.
For clarity, she has been hospitalized. She's getting observation and treatment according to the court. But just for clarity as it relates to Matt Whitaker here, is the president's intention to impede the Mueller investigation in any way?
I just answered that. You've been trying that for a year and a half, and the Mueller investigation has gone forward using your tax dollars. We have not impeded it at all. We had an attorney general who was recused from it. We now don't have an acting attorney general who's recused from it. Nobody wants to prolong it. We've done everything that we've been asked to do. When I say we, I mean the Trump team here and outside of the building. As I understand it, 33 witnesses or 33 individuals who have been called, millions of pieces of paper produced, and we'll see what Mr. Mueller's report says.
On the shooting that took place
but
in
I think the public is now speaking in a very different way about it. If you look at the polling.
When I asked you if he was recused, you said you didn't know if he was recused, and now you say he's not recused. So
But I don't know why he'd be recused. I'm not recused, you're not recused. In other words, you're asking me.
I'm not the acting attorney general.
Right, for sure. Definitely. So, right, but I'm saying that you're asking me if he's recused from it. Why would he? I'm asking why would he be recused?
So he's not.
because CNN keeps playing a clip of what he said as a private citizen? You want him to be recused?
Kellyanne,
I see the commentary on your cable station, but that doesn't really rise to the level of.
Kellyanne, the departure or firing of Jeff Sessions has been expected for many months now.
He submitted his resignation.
Well.
He said at the president's request.
Potato, potato. But is the president prepared with a lengthy list, or has it already been narrowed down who's going to take?
Oh, there are many people in contention for that position just because there are many qualified people who would like to do it. And he knows that. And I'm not going to get ahead of the president in his announcement of anything related to the cabinet or the senior staff. But he will, and no, I wasn't intimating anything, but he will, he'll make those announcements. But what he said yesterday is absolutely true. There are many people who want these jobs.
Kellyanne,
I don't think you can assume anything. He's been busy campaigning. The president made his comments about the shooting, and his FBI is working with the local and state law enforcement in Ventura County. He's also expressed, as I will, our condolences to the dead and the grieving families and those who are still looking for their loved ones, as I understand it. You know how this goes. The first responders are doing a tremendous job, and people are grieving, and also people are looking for their loved ones, their children, I guess, and their loved ones. And also, you know that the emergency room personnel spring into action and do a fantastic job saving lives and mitigating damage.
do you expect him to go out there when he gets back to Paris?
Oh, I'm not going to talk about the president's
he'll talk
schedule.
about it today.
The president and the first lady are set to leave here shortly. That's on their schedule, as you know. I'll let you get out there. And he'll comment on it when he wants, but I think you should look at his 2 tweets. They're pretty comprehensive in terms of the actions that are being taken and the way he feels about it as our president. Thank you.